Jesse, my brother. How are you, sir?
Love you, man. I can't tell you how proud I am of you. Jonathan, the world is absolutely upside down. And I wanted to get your take from the Foreign Affairs Committee and the perspective of what you've witnessed and what the challenges are for oversight, given the minority status of Democrats in the Congress of the United States.
Well, thank you, Congressman Jackson. I appreciate your work. Happy New Year to all, and thank your outstanding production staff. Well, short history. Let me respond to what happened in Venezuela this past weekend. The U.S. media has been calling this a capture and now arrested as a criminal defendant in New York City is the president of Venezuela. Many people in our hemisphere and certainly in the world are looking at this as kidnapping and an abduction with a military invasion. This was not a police force that went to arrest a sitting president. And their election disputes, we've had them in our own country, and there will be more to come in the future. The question becomes, how should this best be resolved? And accusations, as we know, are not indictments. So, what is the rule of law? What's been built up over the last 80 years? What lessons have we learned from World War II? We came out of that with a commitment to understanding that the globe is spherical, that it's round, that it's interdependent upon many other places. How can people get along and go forward? Institutions were created, names were changed. For example, we went from having the Department of War to now calling it the Department of Defense. We turned the eagle's head from the arrows, the 13 arrows, towards the wreath for peace. And our Secretary of Defense is now turning that eagle back towards the arrows for war and renaming it under what he believes he can do, which he cannot. He cannot legally change our institution from the Department of Defense to Department of War. So the Secretary of Defense, Mr. Hegseth, is wrong. We have international criminal courts. We have United Nations. We have bodies to deal with actors that are not necessarily in compliant with world standards. All that just got shattered this past week when now we're seeing the Don Trumpian form of foreign policy moving from the Monroe Doctrine to the Trumpian doctrine of might is right, putting uh, barricades, naval armadas around the Venezuelan coast, and then striking his shores. There were civilian deaths. Glad there were no Americans that were killed, none of those great soldiers, but one civilian death that had a right to be in their country at the right place at the right time shouldn't have died in Venezuela either. The United States Congress should have been consulted. It was not. There are rules and there are boundaries by which we've established to maintain law and order. And we have the articles of the Constitution, the members of the House Representative, the Congress are supposed to authorize war. That was violated. We have our Appropriations Committee that puts funds up for war. That was violated. We have oversight and intelligence. That was violated. So many members of the Congress, we feel violated by what has happened. And so as now President Maduro goes before New York City court, he calls himself a prisoner of war. So the whole world is watching. There's been a shockwave sent through South and Central America and around the world. If might is right as a doctrine, then the bigger army can win and take territory in Ukraine. If might is right, then China can take territory in Taiwan. If might is right, Saddam Hussein could take Kuwait and call it the 19th province. So we made a serious U-turn in how we've agreed to operate as nations. So that's what's happening right now.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. I'm particularly honored on this occasion that the congressman of the 1st Congressional District of Illinois, a member of the Agricultural Committee, as well as the Foreign Operations Committee, is our very special guest. But most importantly, he is my brother, the son of Reverend Jesse Jackson and the child and mother of Jacqueline Jackson. So grateful that he is on our program to offer his expertise and real-time engagement on what's taking place around the world. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. More when we come forward with the honorable and distinguished gentleman from the state of Illinois, the Honorable Jonathan Jackson, when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to partner with the Empowerment Congress once again for their 34th annual summit. The summit's theme is From Vision to Action, a forum to unlock participatory democracy, and will feature a nonpartisan gubernatorial candidate forum focused on issues of importance to the African American community. The summit is the signature public policy-oriented observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy during the national 3-day holiday weekend that celebrates his life. This year's summit will be held on Saturday, January 17th, 2026 at the California Science Center in Exposition Park from 9 to 11 a.m. Admission is free, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. All major announced candidates for California governor for the Democratic and Republican Party nominations have been invited to participate in the candidate forum, which will be moderated by Tavis Smiley. An all-star panel of journalists will pose questions to the candidates, and the forum will be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580. This is going to be a big year for local, state, and national politics. The political pulse of 2026 beats on KBLA Talk 1580.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Light a candle, pour some wine. Grab a roll, the soft kind for a little me time. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wavy edges for my rear. So let the softness caress your soul. Just relax, you're on a roll. Let her rip. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has the same softness you love, now with wavy edges that tear better than the leading one-ply brand. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PATH25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PATH25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PATH25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code PATH25.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the beat.
Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the beat. Talk 1580. Our very special guest in this hour is none other than the distinguished gentleman from Illinois of the 1st Congressional District, the Honorable Jonathan Jackson, who serves on both the Agricultural Committee as well as the Foreign Operations Committee. And today we're turning our attention to foreign operations. I'm so grateful that Jonathan is here. Jonathan, welcome forward to the show.
Hey, man, keep doing the great work you're doing.
Man, I'm trying the best. I'm trying the best to do whatever it is that I can do. Hey, Jonathan, let me ask you this question. It was, I thought it was somewhat maybe out of character for the presidency, but not necessarily out of character for this president. When beyond this conflict, he started talking, um, well, garbage, if you will, to the president of Colombia, the president of Mexico, suggested that Greenland was up next. And it certainly gave me the impression that this president and his unilateral activity is going to run afoul of the Constitution and the oversight that the Congress of the United States should be providing in this hour. Please share with us your thoughts on, are there any expectations from either Republicans in the Congress, the Democrats in the Congress, or some bipartisan group to hold the President of the United States accountable to this kind of unilateral activity on behalf of the American people?
Well, we're coming back in session today. Some of us returned yesterday to have meetings, members of the Foreign Affairs, Armed Services Committee, the leadership, people in the Gang of Eight, if you will, in the House and in the Senate to try to get some updates. People were blindsided in House leadership and in the Senate. People were denied the opportunity to be a co-equal branch of government. So he's already running afoul of the Constitution. Forget presidential norms. We have a right to vote on going to war. When you engage the United States military, you enter into conflict with another nation, you kill other citizens with our machinery, and you have longstanding commitments now of the United States military personnel. That's an act of war. When you have an armada around the country, that's an act of war. So Speaker Johnson should be ashamed of himself. He has the power, he has the authority. He has just capitulated, has shown no spine, no backbone to be respected as a co-equal branch of government. So us being in the minority party is extremely unfortunate, but it is co-equal branches. It was a well-designed system. Of course, it started off with many flaws, but there were debates about, do we have a kingdom? Do we have a palace? And they settled on, no, we don't want to be like Versailles. No, we don't want to have a kingdom, a palace. We want to have a house. No, we don't want to have a a king. We want to have a presidency. There will be terms, and we will break that power up between the executive for execution, the legislative body that can be very deliberate, and it will be broken up with the judicial so that there can be other opinions. It's well conceived if you work it. When I was here in Washington last January for the inauguration, I had to bear witness to report to the people what happened a year ago on January 20th for President Trump's inauguration. This city had 32 miles of fencing all around it. The city was on lockdown. The city felt more like a takeover and not a transfer of power. And ever since then, the president has acted as if this is an acquisition of a country, and he can do what he wants, from tearing down the East Wing of the White House, from bombing countries around the world without any authorization, towards war, towards eliminating departments, even to changing the Kennedy Center. That was an act of Congress to put John F. Kennedy's name on that building. And now it's the Donald J. and Melania Trump building. I know he doesn't want to put Melania's name on there, but it's just absolutely, he's violated the Constitution in so many ways. I think his thing is first do it and then go through the courts, buy the time, create, flood the zone with mass distractions, and people will forget. But the time is running out. Many members of the Congress were blindsided and they were embarrassed. When we met in a secured meeting and a confidential briefing in December before the holiday recess, Secretary Rubio and Secretary Hegseth, they lied to us. They told us that there was not about a regime change. They said it was about drugs and boats and boats and drugs. And then after President Trump kidnapped the president of Venezuela, then the language changed to, and he said it 20 times in his press conference, Oil, 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 oil. That's our oil. That's our oil. That's what he said, and that's what the end goal was. And he says we've got a right to it. So he's going back into a very dark period of time of colonialism, of slavery, of not respecting other countries' sovereignty. And he's had this, and he served notice now to Cuba, to Colombia, and to Mexico. Look out, you're next. And on to Greenland. He's like, we have a strategic interest. And Mr. Steve Miller said there's only 30,000 people up there. And China is trying to make inroads. That's our hemisphere. We have a right to it. So his words and actions are becoming much more violent. And we're seeing the actions follow.
Jonathan, I'm thinking in this moment about the broad experience that is your life. You've been to South America many times. You've met leaders throughout the continent. You've spent time with our father and Fidel Castro when the president was living, and even his successors. I had reflection the other day on the Bay of Pigs and the Cuban Missile Crisis. And what was defined for you and I when we were growing up is this was about Soviet influence in our hemisphere. But it turns out that Castro and that country welcomed the bomb in Cuba in large measure to stop Western influence in South America, because indigenous people in these countries had a right to elect their own leaders, elect their own government. But for Castro, the United States and its economic interests would survey South America, look for critical minerals, critical opportunities that benefit primarily Wall Street and the billionaire class. They seem now, without the leadership of Castro, without, of course, the assassination by the CIA and their involvement in the death of Che Guevara, able to run through South America roughshod, the very roughshod that Castro stood between. And I want to remind those listeners that I was looking at some pictures that I had of Joe Louis, the boxing heavyweight champion, and Fidel Castro, Muhammad Ali and Fidel Castro, Malcolm X and Fidel Castro, Jesse Jackson and Fidel Castro, Kwame Nkrumah with Fidel Castro, Samora Machel with Fidel Castro. Almost all of these revolutionary movements, Jonathan, around the country had the leadership of Castro in the Caribbean to recognize and call to task the imperialism that was headed to South America, but for the people themselves standing up. What Trump has done here really runs in the front of liberation movements, not only in South America, but throughout the world.
Oh, it's terrible. And he has an imperial mindset. Think about it. They said that, I saw a meme, Junior, that said that clearly it's about the oil, and they have their interests fixated on all that he's bombed. We've seen a bombing in Syria, oil, in Iraq, oil. He struck Yemen, not so much. He struck Iran, oil. We've had now Venezuela, oil, and even Diddy got caught up on the oil. So they're going after they're going after oil everywhere. I need your attention, Jesse. Okay, it's about that oil.
Why did you throw that in here? You want me to stay focused? Okay, Congressman, I'm sorry.
So where that oil is.
So did you say Diddy's in the oil business? Okay. So, Jonathan, let me then pivot then, because he also.
So these are countries that have that are resource rich, and for Venezuela to now have relationships with China, and Venezuela have now relationship with Russia, it's almost, we have to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Trump being a deal maker, is he saying, get out of my hemisphere and I'll drag my feet and let Putin take Ukraine because I want Venezuela and the resources of South and Central America, one of the richest parts of Earth that has the poorest people. 2/3 of our hemisphere has this abundance of wealth that the people have gone through 41 coups and U.S. interventions over the last 100 years, and China, I'm not going to bother you. You deal with your hemisphere. And is this a new paradigm of might is right we have to be careful about?
Jonathan, as you correctly stated, the president in the first year of his administration has attacked, I think, at least 8, but you said as many as 10 nations around the world unilaterally.
I think 8 sounds right. 8 sounds right.
Without congressional authorization.
And without the Diddy part, that was a joke. Because Joe Biden started that. Joe Biden.
Yeah. So, Johnny, what can we expect? I mean, 8 countries in less than a year, 3 years to go.
Well, interesting enough, and 2 things I want to add. Praying for my colleague, gentleman, I've got a piece of legislation for the Major Marshall Taylor Act to award one of America's greatest athletes and certainly America's first great superstar athlete, Major Marshall Taylor, a cyclist that not been given the due honor. My co-lead on that, Congressman Baird, was in a car accident, so I'm praying for his safe and speedy recovery. That happened today. And also praying for Congressman Sherman out of California, I think he's out of Washington. He just died today. So now there are 2 more Republicans that are short of votes in the Congress, and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, appreciate her service. She's not coming back. I got to look at the current numbers. Speaker Johnson might have lost his majority. And so there's a lot of dynamics that are going to hit the floor tonight at 6:30 when we gavel in.
Well, that's breaking news. I was unaware that Congressman Sherman had expired, and so we'll certainly keep him and his family.
It's the congressman, and he's the head of the Western Caucus. I'll look it up, but a very decent and wonderful man. But yeah, these are 2, and then this razor thin margin for votes. He is. Let's wait and see what kind of votes tonight. That let me see. That is Doug Lamafala, just passed away at the age of 65. LAMALFA. He's the head of the Western Caucus, and of course Congressman Baird. So that just happened.
So it's possible that in the not too distant future, Congress could conceivably shift or flip?
Yes.
Before the midterms?
Yes.
Wow. Certainly.
If we come in, you know the math. If we come in with 218 votes, we can do the discharge, take to the floor, and ask for the speaker to be removed.
That's extraordinary news. Thank you, Congressman, for sharing that with us. I am particularly grateful for the service of Jonathan Jackson in the Congress of the United States. We have him for the full hour today on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Jonathan Jackson, the distinguished gentleman from the state of Illinois, is our guest on Tenacious Tuesdays. I know that Barbara Arnwine is also listening to our program.
Hey, love you, Barbara.
She comes on in our second hour. More when we come forward. I'd like to talk Robinson versus Calais with Jonathan, because in no small measure, the reduction of African Americans in Congress per the Supreme Court and Hispanics means fewer voices standing up for the poor in South America and the poor in our communities. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 15. Our very special guest is the distinguished gentleman from Illinois, member of the Agriculture Committee, a member of the Foreign Operations Committee, and he's giving us a rundown on what is taking place in our world in light of the American intervention in Venezuela. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says progress is being made nearly a year after the Palisades fire. She reports more than 400 homes under construction and 800 approved to rebuild, with Palisades Charter High School set to reopen soon. Bass also acknowledged the ongoing trauma for displaced families, saying true healing won't happen until residents can return home. Former President Barack Obama is encouraging Chicago residents to apply for jobs at his upcoming presidential center on the city's south side. In a recent video, Obama said applications are now open through obama.org. And a judge has ruled in favor of Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul in a hate crime lawsuit involving the intimidation of a black homeowner. Raoul sued Chad and Cheryl Hampton after prosecutors say they targeted their neighbor Gregory Johnson with months of racist harassment, including hanging a lynch effigy from a tree. The court ordered the pair to pay $90,000 in damages. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
When the Atlanta Falcons fired head coach Raheem Morris on Sunday, the move left only 4 black head coaches among the NFL's 32 teams. Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin, Houston's DeMeco Ryan, Tampa Bay's Todd Bowles, and Aaron Glenn with the New York Jets. Tomlin and Ryan will face each other Monday night in a first-round AFC playoff game in Pittsburgh. 6 teams are looking for a new head coach: Atlanta, Tennessee, Cleveland, Arizona, Las Vegas, and the New York Giants. Of the 6 teams with a vacancy, Tennessee and the New York Giants have never hired a black coach in their franchise history. Is this the year these two franchises realize we're in the 21st century? This Friday at 6 p.m., Out of Bounds is moving to prime time. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough for 60 minutes of sports chatter with some black folks flavor. And you can be a part of the conversation at 1-800-920-1580. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
It all comes down to this, folks. Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Looking for something new? Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick decisions, and a satisfying beat when you score a point. Kids, teens, and adults can start anytime. No experience needed, and many clubs have loaner gear. Coaches teach fundamentals and safety from day one. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
Picture this, you're on a date and then bad breath happens. Confidence gone. Here's the truth. Most gums and mints are just bad breath Band-Aids, but not Zellman's Minty Mouth. The functional breath freshener you swallow. Tiny dual action capsules with mint on the outside, parsley seed oil inside, clinically tested to fight the toughest offenders, even garlic and onions. It's only available online. Go to Zellmans.com, Zelmins, Zellmans.com, code FRESH for 15% off.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Our very special guest in this hour is none other than distinguished gentleman from the great state of Illinois in the 1st Congressional District of Illinois, the Honorable Jonathan Jackson, who serves on both the House Agricultural Committee, stick a pin in that, as well as the Foreign Operations Committee. I want to comment on that very briefly because in 1984 and 1988, Jonathan and I campaigned in rural America. The congressional district that he represents has a large rural swath as part of it, not just the urban areas, but we were milking cows and picking eggs and cleaning hogs in Iowa and other communities around the country on behalf of our father, who was running for president of the United States at the time. But we also represent the urban core, and his international travels as a member of the Foreign Operations Committee, clearly, not only as his father's son and my brother, has connected him to the global community long before he was a member of Congress. And so he brings a particular expertise to the conversation of Venezuela and what's taking place in our world. Jonathan, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate your work.
Hey, Johnny, let me ask you a question. In this moment, I'm thinking and trying to draw the connection between the Voting Rights Act, your voice on the floor of the Congress, the 62 African Americans who presently serve in Congress, and the, I guess, more than 2, maybe 3 dozen Hispanics who serve in Congress. The attack by the Supreme Court on the Voting Rights Act, which you talked about the last time you were on our show, and the fact that maybe in this midterm election, there may be few of us arguing for the poor, not only in our own districts, but arguing for the poor in South America, as well as the poor in Africa. Can you share with us your thoughts on the consequences of the Supreme Court taking a hard look and reconsidering the Voting Rights Act of 1965?
Sure. Think about this. It's a radical idea to have one person, one vote on that election day, to have the people that clean the restrooms and are the essential workers and prepare the food, and people that work in the fields to get our agricultural product and our food sources, and the nurses that are working, and the CNAs and other people that may not even have health care, that care for the sick, people that don't have insurance, that on that one day, they have the same influence to affect the society and our world, if you will, by being able to cast a vote. That a billionaire and the people that have the essential jobs have something in common. They're full citizens. Can you imagine if you have $1 billion and you're arrogant and prideful and you look down on people, how disgusted you have to feel to think this person has the same rights as me? So all these other manipulations go around how to circumvent, how to mitigate, reduce, and deny, marginalize the one person, one vote. And that's achieved through now money, making people have outsized PACs and outsized contributing mechanisms. When a person says, I gave President Trump $250 million. I gave them $250 million. Well, that translates into access and amplification for messaging. So in some ways, their voices are larger than their one vote. We have to rein that in. Everything about it is just so fundamentally wrong. And when we talk about South and Central America, this is the region on earth that has the greatest disparity in wealth and income. So they're elite, if you will, kleptocracies, oligarchs, fewer than 8 families that control the country, you know, and they want to keep it that way. So although many of these countries are black and brown, the infrastructure of banking, insurance, land ownership still trace back to colonial times. If you look at a bottle of rum or a bottle of whiskey or bottle of or sugar or many of these agricultural products, it's still coming from the same land from 100, 200 years ago. Many of these people are still the same descendants that still own that same land. There have been people to have taken on other positions and been in the presidency, but that land is still highly concentrated. And so this is a challenge going forward, being able to align. One person, one vote, and there have been so many coups and interventions in our hemisphere, and that continues this cycle of destabilization. If we could pivot back to Venezuela, this is a challenge now. How can there possibly be a peaceful transfer of power if it's not a peaceful transfer of power to keep things together? These countries can erupt. United City of Chicago is 2,504 miles from Caracas, Venezuela. You can walk, so a contiguous landmass from Caracas, Venezuela to Chicago. We received 30,000 people, and people are like, oh, they've taken over, they've invaded us. Because of the economic strangulation that's taken place and the boycotts and the cutting off, severing ties from the financial system that the United States has imposed on Venezuela, and they can't get parts, they can't use transactions in the banking system, they can't repair equipment, they've lost their production of oil, richer oil field in Saudi Arabia. They've had the equivalent of 3 great depressions in the last 15 years. So it's been a State Department strategy to hurt the people in order to run out the leadership. Well, in fact, it's only made the leadership stronger. And the people have been run out of the country. So 7 million people have fled the country. 3 million people went into Colombia, and they've absorbed them. We've had 30,000, which is a lot for us in Chicago. Can you imagine if you had 3 million people that you had to deal with? And with this further destabilization, if he threatens Colombia and then on to Mexico, where do you think those people are coming? They're coming our way. The people in those neighboring countries are going to say, the United States has had an issue with you. We don't. We can't afford to give you our social services. We're going to put you at our border to the next border to help you pass through so you can get straight up to the United States. Where they're going to end up, they're coming to a city near you. So we have to care about these countries. And when you see a mother and a child getting off a bus with no money, not speaking the language, no place to go, sleeping in the vestibule at a police station, at a shelter, she had to flee her country. They don't want to be here. This is what we all have to be concerned about, foreign affairs. When we eat our fruits, 60% of our fruits are coming from South and Central America. These countries are destabilized. Some of your favorite fruits you're not going to be able to get. And the narco and the drug boys, this sort of destabilized government and anarchy, they thrive. So you can expect more production. And with this administration releasing the president, former president who had a fair trial in the United States, Juan Orlando Hernandez, who produced 400 tons of cocaine. I did the math on that. That would be the equivalent of 7 53-foot tractor trailers from end zone to end zone. The football field is 100 yards. There's another 10 yards for the end zone. That's over 120 feet in contiguous span of trafficking cocaine that he said he would pour in all the gringos' nose. They went through, he was extradited after he left office to the United States. Their government cooperated. He was given opportunity for a trial. It went through. Prosecutors, judges, citizens took all the information in, and they convicted him. And Mr. Trump says, no, he's now been released. Well, you just let out the biggest narco terrorist in the world, saying, in the words of Mr. Trump, he was treated unfairly because of Joe Biden. Not true. So now that's a new competitor, one of the state of the arts. So he did it before. What do you think? He's going to start crocheting and knitting? He's going to go back to his old habits.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You've been listening to the Congressman from the 1st Congressional District, none other than my brother, the Honorable Jonathan Jackson. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. I'm very privileged to have in this hour none other than the distinguished gentleman from the great state of Illinois, the congressman of the 1st Congressional District, my brother Jonathan Jackson, who serves on the House Agricultural Subcommittee, as well as the Foreign Operations Subcommittee or Foreign Affairs Committee of the Congress of the United States. We've been talking about foreign affairs for the better part of the last hour. Congressman, if you don't mind, I'd like to shift to agriculture for a minute. Your thoughts on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program and where we are with respect to the possibility of people losing their benefits.
Well, there are 42 million people that qualify for the SNAP Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And in the one big, beautiful bill, as it was labeled, is one big, brutal, disastrous bill that is wreaking havoc. And what's at the essence of that bill is essentially $4 trillion in tax cuts to the wealthiest people and $350 billion removed from the subsidies that go into the health care to buy down the cost. Sure, we have to fix the health care, but the Republicans have not put forth a plan, a program. In the meantime, they're taking away something that is working. So people's health insurance is beginning to soar. 50,000 people we know are going to die as a result of not having this health insurance. 50,000. And let me tell you how the insurance market, as we know it, is going to fail under the Trump administration. It's going to fail because insurance, everyone has to be in. That's the premiums that you collect to offset the people that need the insurance the most. Now, and that's based upon younger people that don't need that much insurance paying probably disproportionately more than what they should to help subsidize the older crew like us that needs more health observation, health care. So they're going to end up raising the insurance on the younger people, 22, 25. They don't think they need hearing, dental, vision. They're not planning on having a catastrophic illness. So they're going to opt out and not pay $500, $700 a month. Their auto insurance has soared. Their rent has soared for their housing. Their healthcare insurance is soaring. They're paying their student debt. And I can't afford it. So they're going to stop buying into it, which means the people that are left in there, the older people, their insurance is going to take off even higher. And now your income is fixed as you're older. And so you're going to not be able to afford. And the stories that I'm hearing now of seniors going from 300 a month to 1,100 a month, people going from 700 to $2,800 a month, it's not bearable. And so Mr. Trump, I believe, is trying to deflect, wag the dog, that he wants to get people diverted. Every time he's into a pinch, he's going to create another sensational story. So this month, we're going to see the insurance subsidy expire. You're going to see this government shutdown looming at the end of the month because we're going to have to vote on it again. You're going to see fewer members of Congress on the Republican side because people have died, have gotten hurt, or have resigned. And you can expect some more people to resign. So put your seatbelt on. And one last thing I want to add to that, if I can depart and have a point of privilege, Honorable Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. I like saying that. This is January 6th. It was 5 years ago today that President Trump's gang and gulag tried to disrupt a peaceful transfer of power. Officers were killed that showed up just to do their job, to oversee the casting of our electoral college votes. Let's remember those persons. They showed up to do their job, and they were beaten with hammers. And the more you find out about it, the more disturbing it is that if they had clenched their fists, these officers, to defend themselves and hit one of these assailants, one of these mobsters, the FBI interviewed the officer for defending themselves. They were told they're to take a beating. 6 officers lost their lives. The Congress has passed resolutions for a plaque to put up in the Capitol, so we'll never forget this day. Speaker Johnson refuses to put it up because the president doesn't want to see it. So not only does he want to erase African American history, we need our white colleagues to join us because he's erasing American and white people in history. Black history is American history. So he's trying to erase history, trying to deny it. And officers died 5 years ago. The same officers that are supposed to protect us. Let's remember them and keep them in your prayers. This is a dangerous environment for lawmakers.
Jonathan, I have the great privilege of sharing with our listeners that for just a couple of months a year, my younger brother Jonathan and I share the same birthday.
Yes, sir.
We will be 60. Jonathan's birthday tomorrow is his birthday on January 7th. He will be 60 years old. I am 60 years old. And from now until March, we are the same age. No more older brother, younger brother. We're right there together. And I'm particularly privileged. Jonathan, we have, first of all, happy birthday. And we have about a minute and a half. We always ask our guests to end our program on a word of hope from Congressman Jonathan Jackson.
Well, good. Thank you. On my birthday eve, I want to thank you, Jesse, being a brother, being a big brother. That bag of gifts you sent over the other day, I want to, you already caught the joke. You haven't seen it?
I still got to go buy it, right?
Okay, you still got to go buy it. Well, I'll be waiting on it with great expectation. I'll be waiting on it for this momentous occasion on this year. We overlap. And so please load it up. I love matching sweat, gear, swag, all that. I'm not picky, but grateful. And the people, we have the power in our hand. This is a great system. It's a country worth fighting for. This is a special place. I'm honored to be your congressman. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, this esteem, honor, this privilege to represent you. We're going forward fighting for voting rights. We've got the Louisiana versus Callis case. We've got birthright citizenship coming up. I've started a DEI caucus January 27th with my colleague, Congressman Cleo Fields. Last year, we have maintained it. We've been consistent. We are not going to let President Trump take those noble words out of our hands, and they don't know what they're doing. And we're going to continue to fight for the people. We believe in voting rights. We believe in human rights, and we're going to also fight for a humane process.
Johnny, you're going to stay with me because I want you to say hi to Barbara. Jackson
Hey,
Jr.
Barbara. I did.
1580. Congressman Jonathan Jackson and Barbara Arnman will be with us. More when we come back on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says progress is being made nearly a year after the Palisades fire. She reports more than 400 homes under construction and 800 approved to rebuild, with Palisades Charter High School set to reopen soon. Bass also acknowledged the ongoing trauma for displaced families, saying true healing won't happen until residents can return home. Former President Barack Obama is encouraging Chicago residents to apply for jobs at his upcoming presidential center on the city's south side. In a recent video, Obama said applications are now open through obama.org. And a judge has ruled in favor of Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul in a hate crime lawsuit involving the intimidation of a black homeowner. Raoul sued Chad and Cheryl Hampton after prosecutors say they targeted their neighbor Gregory Johnson with months of racist harassment, including hanging a lynch effigy from a tree. The court ordered the pair to pay $90,000 in damages. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
When the Atlanta Falcons fired head coach Raheem Morris on Sunday, the move left only 4 black head coaches among the NFL's 32 teams. Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin, Houston's DeMeco Ryan, Tampa Bay's Todd Bowles, and Aaron Glenn with the New York Jets. Tomlin and Ryan will face each other Monday night in a first-round AFC playoff game in Pittsburgh. 6 teams are looking for a new head coach: Atlanta, Tennessee, Cleveland, Arizona, Las Vegas, and the New York Giants. Of the 6 teams with a vacancy, Tennessee and the New York Giants have never hired a black coach in their franchise history. Is this the year these two franchises realize we're in the 21st century? This Friday at 6 p.m., Out of Bounds is moving to prime time. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough for 60 minutes of sports chatter with some black folks flavor. And you can be a part of the conversation at 1-800-920-1580. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. For 40 years, I have had the privilege, and I don't use that word lightly, the privilege of sitting down with presidents, world leaders, authors, artists, activists, the folk who shape our world. Thousands of conversations, tens of thousands of questions. And somewhere along the way, I realized that the art of conversation is dying. So here's what I'm going to do about it. I am now going to teach what these almost 40 years have taught me: how to have conversations that matter. 6 courses, from the anatomy of a great conversation to generous listening as a superpower to handling difficult exchanges without losing your dignity or your mind. Go to TavisTalks.com right now. That's TavisTalks.com. Download the free guide, see what's coming, sign up to be the first to know when we launch the series. Conversation is a skill, and like any skill, it can be taught. I'll see you in class.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 oh. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 oh. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 oh. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 oh. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA, Talk 1580, download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson for Nations Tuesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. We are joined by none other than the president of the Transformative Justice Coalition, Attorney Barbara Arnwine is our regularly scheduled host on Tuesdays. And Barbara, I do have a surprise for you. The distinguished gentleman from the great state of Illinois, the Honorable Jonathan Jackson, is joining us just for a small part of the segment.
Love you, Barbara.
I love you. So happy to see you. Happy New Year. What a great way to start the new year out.
Barbara, I thought you might have a question of the congressman. We're going to lose him at the break, and I thought maybe I should allow you the opportunity to engage the congressman and what's taking place on Capitol Hill directly.
Oh, Congressman, thank you for joining us. First of all, how are you? How's family? How was your holiday?
Family's great. Love you. And if I could have a point of privilege with you, attorney, freedom fighter, civil rights icon, Barbara Arnwine, I want everyone to know that people in office have to be humble enough to say who their teachers are so that they can learn. I stand in awe of you. I learn from you. And so I can yield my time back to the distinguished woman from the great city of Washington, D.C. You teach, you educate, you uplift. And for that, I thank you.
Well,
Listen to Barbara Arnwine.
Well, you are blazing your path and you are making such a difference. And, just your leadership in the Congress has been so meaningful. I'm so grateful for your leadership on the KBLA case. Has there been any preparation by your fellow Congress people to think about the outcome and the aftermath of this decision and how they're going to need to organize on the ground across this country?
There certainly has not been enough. And if I could ask you a question,
Yes.
what would you like for me to do? How can I get more engaged with the KBLA case? I was at the Supreme Court hearing with you. I am very much concerned about with my colleague Cleo Fields. There were only 3 members of Congress and 1 in the Senate. What's next? What's the timeline? That is a priority case and birthright citizenship for me. What do I need to do?
I think we should set up an immediate, briefing on the Hill for the aftermath of the decision, and also I think there needs to be more talk about the. We've done 2 shows now in which we've talked about the Black Voters Matters report that shows that over 191 African American elected officials statewide will be affected by an adverse KBLA decision, not to mention the people in Congress. And I think it would be good to have a briefing and a strategy session where we can just talk about some of the things. I mean, I know that those of us who are working in this area, we're already meeting, we're already talking, we're already planning. And it would be good to have some cross-fertilization. I'm sure other groups are meeting with folks, but it would be great for people like TJC and Black Voters Matters and others to meet with you.
I'll call and we'll set that up. I've got to bounce now. I'm going to continue to listen to the program, and we'll have a date so we can report back to Congressman Jackson and get his brilliance, his insight. And
yes.
I'm a foot soldier. Let's go.
You're amazing. That's what you are. Thank you.
Do that applause again.
The distinguished gentleman from Illinois, been our guest on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Love
this
you
is
now.
Tenacious Tuesday. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you being here.
Love you, Jay.
I'm wondering.
That was a thrill. That was a treat. Thank you.
I know that we have
you.
issues, Attorney Arnwine, that you want to talk about. But before we do, and before we go to the break, and I know that we'll cover the issues that you want to discuss today, are you sensing any urgency in light of Venezuela from the Hispanic caucus in the Congress on the KBLA issue? That is, I can see how there's a preoccupation right now with what the president has done, but it's got to be disorienting in that many of the Hispanic members of Congress will likely lose their seats as well, and the number of Hispanic state legislators could lose their seats, and therefore a silencing of their voice at a critical time in South American history when they should be speaking up. Barbara?
Right. I really can't speak to what is being said within the Hispanic caucus, but I do know that people are concerned. I mean, at least in the advocacy community, there's huge concern, huge, and a lot of leadership going on within the Latino community. But it's disturbing. Think about this. This man said that this post-invasion nonsense. In fact, it's just hard to even figure out what they called themselves doing in Venezuela. But what they have stated publicly since, both Rubio, Vance, and Trump, that they intend to, quote, dominate the Western Hemisphere. Now, what is that? And talking about Greenland is within the Western Hemisphere. And that's why the U.S. got to have it, it has the right to take it over from Denmark. I mean, it's just nonsense. I mean, it's just not just the Americas. They're talking now about, invading Greenland. I mean, this is really dangerous, people. If you haven't studied the age of U.S. big stick diplomacy, you ought to, because you'll see how it turned out for us. This was not a beautiful period. It was a horrific colonialization period, and people suffered. And the U.S. ultimately got driven out because people demanded their own sovereignty. Why do we think? What in the world makes us think that at this moment that we can somehow go back to big stick Theodore Roosevelt styled, imperialism, manifest destiny madness? It's insane. It's
Barbara?
insane.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. It's Tenacious Tuesday. We have the president of the Transformative Justice Coalition as our very special host and guest. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to partner with the Empowerment Congress once again for their 34th annual summit. The summit's theme is From Vision to Action, a forum to unlock participatory democracy, and will feature a nonpartisan gubernatorial candidate forum focused on issues of importance to the African American community. The summit is the signature public policy-oriented observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy during the national 3-day holiday weekend that celebrates his life. This year's summit will be held on Saturday, January 17th, 2026 at the California Science Center in Exposition Park from 9 to 11 a.m. Admission is free, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. All major announced candidates for California governor for the Democratic and Republican Party nominations have been invited to participate in the candidate forum, which will be moderated by Tavis Smiley. An all-star panel of journalists will pose questions to the candidates, and the forum will be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580. This is going to be a big year for local, state, and national politics. The political pulse of 2026 beats on KBLA Talk 1580.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas.
gas. Use promo code PATH25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PATH25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PATH25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code PATH25.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Looking forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. It's Nation's Tuesday. It is our first show. Attorney Barbara Arnwine, the president and founder of the Transformative Justice Coalition, internationally renowned for contributions on critical justice issues, including the passage of the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1991 and the 2006 reauthorization of provisions of the Voting Rights Act. Currently, she also serves as co-chair and facilitator of the National Commission for Voter Justice, the Millennial Votes Matters convenings, and the Voting Rights Alliance. She was the head of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law from February 1989 until June of 2015 and holds the honorific title of President Emeritus. Madam President, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show and Tenacious Tuesday with Barbara Arnold.
Well, Happy New Year to you. And I'm just glad to be here and glad to be back and glad to work on another year.
Barbara, no countdown for you today. There's a hell of a lot that's going on, and the world is absolutely upside down, from Venezuela to the Supreme Court to threats against Colombia, the country of Mexico, Nigeria, Greenland. Barbara,
Cuba.
Cuba. Oh, yeah, Cuba.
What is really all about Cuba.
Where do we go from
Nigeria? I mean, what I mean, since when is Africa part of the Western dominance? I mean, this is, Western Hemisphere. This is insane.
Where do we go from here, Barbara?
We have to, people know what they need to do. Folks, 2026 is all about voting. If you don't have a voting plan, if you're not prioritizing, making sure that your voice is going to be heard, that we get rid of this oligarchy. I mean, come on, who else wants to be in Venezuela but a bunch of oligarchs? People trying to make money off of oil. What does that have to do with us? How does that make any single American, any one of us, rich? How does it make us more financially secure? How does it pay our bills? People just got bills, what, tripling their healthcare premiums? People have lost their SNAP benefits. How does this do anything for the average American? This is all about big money. Did you hear that the next day, the day after the quote, Maduro madness, the Venezuelan bombing and all, and, the kidnapping of Maduro, the next day, one of the head people on Wall Street announced that he is organizing a tour of various not capitalists to go to Venezuela to look at their opportunities. That's who it benefits, not us. Not us, not the Venezuelan people. The people have every right to not want a dictator, but we don't want a dictator here in the United States. Somebody who prides himself on saying he wants to be a dictator, all of a sudden invading another country and taking away the sovereignty of that nation to operate and for his people to vote for who they choose. We don't have the right to take that into our hand. If we did so, then what you got to say about all these other countries, including your buddy in Russia? I mean, come on. I mean, this is just absolute hypocrisy, runaway madness, oligarchy. This is why you don't like oligarchs. It's all about themselves, their money, their pocketbooks, what furthers their financial interests. It has nothing to do with the rest of us.
Barbara, Congressman Jackson in the last hour said that, and God bless Congressman LaMalfa, I think his name is,
yes,
who died within the last couple of hours due to a surgical, while in a surgical process or in a surgical procedure. And so we're certainly praying for his family. The resignation, of course, of Marjorie Taylor Greene and other members of the Republican majority that Congressman Jackson said he believes are going to resign before this session of the Congress actually really gets underway. What do you think about a discharge petition in short order that could see Hakeem Jeffries as the Speaker of the House in the next few months?
It's possible. It's possible. It all depends on what people do to fill those vacancies. And what we've seen what Johnson will do. He'll suspend order and just go home and sit it out until they have their majority or whatever. We've seen him already. What he did when Adelita was voted in, and how he took 2 months to swear her in, just so that he trying to stop the discharge of the Epstein files, petition for the Epstein files. I mean, I think that it's fascinating. While we've been on the show, I don't know if you saw it, but they just rushed another Republican congressman to the hospital.
Since we've been on the show?
Yes, 80 years old, serious problem. Just while we've been on the show.
You mean Democrats may be in control of Congress before the show's over?
I mean, I'm just telling you what happened.
we got it wrong for that.
We'll recover, but
holding on. Holding on.
Situation.
Got some folk who should have retired a long time ago. They just
Yes, absolutely. Come on. This gerontocracy that we got in this in our Congress is definitely a problem. But at the same time, people like J.D. Vance are just young fools. And dangerous to the max.
Barbara, can we talk Iran, Contra, and ironies for a moment? Some of our listeners are too young enough to remember what you and I know about Oliver North and about the Bush administration, the Reagan administration, just how much trouble the Reagan administration actually was with Oliver North. By the way, another president whose capacity was being questioned and even used his memory as the basis for not remembering what went on during Iran-Contra and left Oliver North holding the bag. But of course, this too was about drugs, which the Californians who are listening to us, the Los Angelinos, fully understand was part of the dynamic where the government of the United States was allowing drugs to come into the country from the Contras to make money and then move the money back to the Contras so that they could buy weapons from the United States. I think it was drugs for money for hostage for guns deal or something. And now here we see the same scenario, albeit different players, in some way, shape, or form: drugs, money, oil. Yeah, all of these things are still playing out, and it really raises questions about how the United States and the Central Intelligence Agency has been conducting affairs in South America, given all of the coups for the last 60 years. Barbara?
Well, I mean, I think that Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona is correct on this one. He's been calling it out for weeks and saying this is all Marco Rubio's campaign to take Cuba over, and that this is his indirect way of trying to cripple Cuban. And then, of course, Trump, they can brief him all they want to and tell him keep it secret, top secret, whatever, but he gonna blurt it out. So he blurted it out. We want to tear all those people who have to leave Cuba. We want them to go back. We want them to be able to go back. We want them to be able to return to their country. And so he made it clear that this is all, as Senator Gallego has said, this is all an attempt to ultimately, have regime change in Cuba, and to subdue the Cuban people, and to stop, the Cuban socialist experiment. And so this is, very, 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 very important for us to look at. But also, I think it's more than that. I mean, what's obviously happening, if you look at what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, if you look at what's going on with China and Africa, if you look at what's going on with the U.S., focus on Nigeria, focus on, Venezuela, the focus on Greenland, ultimately it's all about the fact that our world has what they call, these, what do they call them? These riches, these rare earth minerals. And it's all about who's going to control them. Because lithium, think about it, lithium. My son does a lot of. My son is beginning to really look into investing, in investment advice, because he's always been a good person for following the economy and economics, global economics. But one thing he focused me on that I didn't realize is that. There's only certain countries in this world that have, that produce, some of the most incredibly powerful technology that's driving this whole tech, industry worldwide. And that, there's only two countries, Taiwan, South Korea, that, dominate in certain, technologies, and lithium is critical. And so the fact that, they're looking at, remember where oil is, what else normally is there? Depending on what kind of, oil shale is around, you have, the potential for lithium very strongly. And the U.S. has some, but nothing compared to what we need. So what this is about is just trying to just take people's rare earth minerals from them.
I just want to comment on that because I know we're going to be coming forward in just a minute, Barbara.
I know, I'm
When
sorry.
you think of, no, not at all. When you think about lithium, I mean,
Yes.
every cell phone battery in the country is made from lithium. And it's probably come from some poor country like Venezuela, some poor African country like the Congo. And there simply would not be cell phones without lithium batteries.
Exactly.
Yet these countries are not the beneficiaries of the end product and end use of the lithium that's mined underneath them. And yet they remain poor.
Right.
You think about these same countries where these very rich oil deposits and reserves are.
Mm-hmm.
There simply wouldn't be a car or a truck on a major highway without Venezuelan oil.
Woo, talk about it.
And yet the Venezuelan people find themselves in poverty while our stock market's going up, while Chevron and the other oil companies line
I
up.
predicted that.
One member of one of these organizations contributed $250 million to the Donald Trump reelection campaign. $250 million. But he stands to make tens of billions of dollars by the government's activity, supported by the taxpayers through the military, of drilling in Venezuela and extracting from the poorest of the poor the future of their country. Once it is extracted, it's gone. And poor people who should be the benefit. Venezuela should be the new Abu Dhabi and Dubai of South America. That's how much money is in their oil reserves.
Yes.
But there's no plan for that. Marco Rubio made it crystal clear that this is about American interests first, and then they're going to turn their interests later to the people of Venezuela. Barbara, we
They
have
never
about
will. They never will.
Not going to happen, is it, Barbara?
Listen, this whole war, folks, if they were upset about cocaine coming into the United States, who would they have bombed? Who would they have bombed? Who would they have invaded? It's not about that. And that when he got on the air and said oil more times than he said hi, or his whole name. I mean, it was just indicative that this was all about, these rare earth minerals. And it is a shame. I mean, socialism. People have that you say socialism, people say communist, blah, blah, blah. But socialism is a system that insists on the government using the benefits of the land, the water, the sea, to the benefit of the people, so that people have some benefit. And if you're saying, oh, she's talking crazy, what do you think Scandinavia is? Most of those are socialist nations, and they have the highest standard of living in the world. But
Barbara?
but we hate it. And so when it gets close to us, we want to bomb it, destroy it. But more importantly, we want to dominate it and
I'm
own
Jesse
and
Jackson.
give it to the oligarchs.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. More with Barbara Arnwine when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says he will finish out his term one day after announcing he will not seek re-election. Walz says he has no plans to resign amid scrutiny over alleged fraud involving Somali daycares.
You can make all your requests for me to resign over my dead body. Will that happen?
Federal authorities have surged agents into Minnesota, with Homeland Security reporting more than 1,000 arrests since last week. The United States Postal Service is unveiling a new Black Heritage stamp honoring Phyllis Wheatley, the first African-American to publish a book of poetry. She becomes the 49th honoree in the series. The Forever stamp features a portrait by artist Kerry James Marshall and celebrates Wheatley's legacy as a formerly enslaved poet and a founding figure of African-American literature. And actress Tracee Ellis Ross has signed a first-look deal with Fox Entertainment Studios for scripted projects, plus an overall unscripted deal. Through her deal, Ross will serve as an executive producer. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
When the Atlanta Falcons fired head coach Raheem Morris on Sunday, the move left only 4 black head coaches among the NFL's 32 teams. Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin, Houston's DeMeco Ryan, Tampa Bay's Todd Bowles, and Aaron Glenn with the New York Jets. Tomlin and Ryan will face each other Monday night in a first-round AFC playoff game in Pittsburgh. 6 teams are looking for a new head coach: Atlanta, Tennessee, Cleveland, Arizona, Las Vegas, and the New York Giants. Of the 6 teams with a vacancy, Tennessee and the New York Giants have never hired a black coach in their franchise history. Is this the year these two franchises realize we're in the 21st century? This Friday at 6 p.m., Out of Bounds is moving to prime time. Join me and my co-host, Neil Scarborough, for 60 minutes of sports chatter with some black folks flavor. And you can be a part of the conversation at 1-800-920-1580. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. For 40 years, I have had the privilege, and I don't use that word lightly, the privilege of sitting down with presidents, world leaders, authors, artists, activists, the folk who shape our world. Thousands of conversations, tens of thousands of questions. And somewhere along the way, I realized that the art of conversation is dying. So here's what I'm going to do about it. I am now going to teach what these almost 40 years have taught me: how to have conversations that matter. 6 courses, from the anatomy of a great conversation to generous listening as a superpower to handling difficult exchanges without losing your dignity or your mind. Go to TavisTalks.com right now. That's TavisTalks.com. Download the free guide, see what's coming, sign up to be the first to know when we launch the series. Conversation is a skill, and like any skill, it can be taught. I'll see you in class.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail, and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail, because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Light a candle, pour some wine. Grab a roll, the soft kind for a little me time. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear. Wavy edges for my rear. So let the softness caress your soul. Just relax, you're on a roll. Let her rip. Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear.
Charmin Ultra Soft Smooth Tear has the same softness you love, now with wavy edges that tear better than the leading one-ply brand. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Looking for something new? Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick decisions, and a satisfying beat when you score a point. Kids, teens, and adults can start anytime. No experience needed, and many clubs have loaner gear. Coaches teach fundamentals and safety from day one. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
Picture this, you're on a date and then bad breath happens. Confidence gone. Here's the truth. Most gums and mints are just bad breath Band-Aids, but not Zellman's Minty Mouth. The functional breath freshener you swallow. Tiny dual action capsules with mint on the outside, parsley seed oil inside, clinically tested to fight the toughest offenders, even garlic and onions. It's only available online. Go to Zellmans.com, Zelmins, Zellmans.com, code FRESH for 15% off.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Quality drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to the me. KBLA Talk 1580. Download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. It's Tenacious Tuesdays on the J Lunch Club. Our very special guest is our regular contributor, Dr. Attorney Barbara Arnwine. She'll say, "Oh, I'm not a doctor," but she has a JD degree, and that makes her Dr. Arnwine. Juris Doctorate. We are so grateful, Attorney Arnwine, that you're with us. And in this moment, I can't think of an organization that provides the kind of leadership that the Transformative Justice Coalition, under your leadership, actually provides. And I'm thinking that when Congressman Jonathan Jackson referred to you as iconic, that he was speaking nothing but truth right there. Barbara, there's some very important work that you're going to be doing over the next year, maybe one of the busiest years in the history of the organization. How can we support your work?
First of all, thank you. Everyone, Transformative Justice Coalition, we live on public support. We're not one of those organizations that's quiet. I mean, we really bring, truthful and bold advocacy. And that makes it hard, for a lot of groups. Well, let's just say for a lot of philanthropies to support us. It shouldn't. In fact, they should support us more because of it. But anyway, listen, when last year was a tough year for everybody because they were telling Black organizations to take the word Black out of their name. They were telling Black organizations to, including mine, to get rid of the term racial justice in our mission. It was a tough year, and a lot of groups suffered, and our whole field, came out weaker financially as a result of it. And that's even, including all kinds of voting rights groups. So I urge people, if you care about 2026, if you want to see a new administration, or you want to put some shackles, I'm really serious, some handcuffs on this administration, then we got to control the Congress.
Amen.
Meaning we need a Congress that's not afraid to stand up and say, no dictatorships. I'm sorry. FCC, stop abusing your power. FTC, what's wrong with you? Why, I mean, we need a real Congress, and we don't have one. We have a kind of look like, it's just fake. It's all fake. It's all controlled. They're the puppets of Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is like what? He's like a little malevolent 8-year-old playing toy soldiers and losing his little mind. And he's really unfit to be in office, totally unfit. And that's not just because of his philosophy, people. That's because he is just mentally, I think, incapable and should not actually be in office, and that he doesn't have the wherewithal to govern. And that because of that, he's just running amok, and even with his own people. So let's say this: if you would like to give, to make sure that there's a difference, that we get rid of this what we got right now, then I need you to support us so that we can make sure that the American people are able to be heard. Because I know that the American people are through with this. They showed it on November 4th. They're going to come out again during this year's elections, the midterms. Every member of Congress is up for re-election. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it is.
And about to be again. I want people to understand that this is the reality and that we need you. So give to tjcoalition.org. tjcoalition.org. We are not controlled by anybody's party. We are totally independent. My interest is making sure that American people can vote, especially Black American people and people of color in general, and all of the disenfranchised communities. So it's very important. tjcoalition.org. People gave. I want to thank people who gave to us at the end of the year, but beginning of the year is key, because for most of groups like us, I think this, is that most of us people don't give to the advocacy groups until September. They spend all the rest of the year giving to candidates. People with money. They're like, I want to make sure this political figure knows that I supported them for whatever benefit, and they just don't give to groups like us to do that on the ground work until the almost like the very last minute. I'm really serious. Some people don't give them until 2 weeks before the election.
Barbara, let me ask you a question. Barbara, there are 50 states in the union, about 3,500 counties. Share with our listeners how many states you are likely to cover in 2026. How many states, Barbara?
29.
Now, how about that, everybody?
29.
When we put the wind beneath Barbara Arnwine's wings, it means that we don't have to go to 29 states because she's going to 29 states on our behalf. But she can't get there without what we can put beneath her wings. How do we reach the Transformative Justice Coalition? And how do we contribute again?
TJ.
Gina's got these new sound effects, by the way.
TJcoalition.org. TJcoalition.org. Please go there. Please give us the capacity, because what we do that's different, the reason why we're so effective, it's not because it's not because we are just headed by strong people, but it's also because we work with 280 partners around the country, local, grassroots, national, statewide, some really great partners. And we have a unique approach. Our approach is all about activating young people, Gen Zers. Yeah, those 18 to 35-year-old people, including, of course, some young millennials. That's who we work with. And we go on the ground and we do direct activation. And we'll be doing direct activations in at least 12 states this year alone. And we'll be working with our partners in all 29. So people, if you want to see a difference, if you're sitting back there talking about you don't see young people involved, you better talk to us, because that's what we do. We have the young people involved. We support them. We get them engaged and being the powerful leaders they can be, and they are amazing. I love our 600 plus, young people we train over these years.
TJCoalition.org.
TJcoalition.org.
I can't wait till Barbara hits the road and we start advertising where she's going to be, so you can join Barbara Arnwine while she's
Well, you've been following us. You told people us on the ground, right?
And then that's right. Barbara comes in live on location from the fight. so grateful for her extraordinary work. We're going to be coming forward.
Well, thank you.
Just a few moments for some more thoughts from Barbara Arnwine, and of course, the final 3 minutes of our program on this first of the new year, Tenacious Tuesdays, with attorney Barbara Arnwine. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Our very special guest in this hour has been none other than the tenacious attorney Barbara Arnwine, president of the Transformative Justice Coalition. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money, or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. For 40 years, I have had the privilege, and I don't use that word lightly, the privilege of sitting down with presidents, world leaders, authors, artists, activists, the folk who shape our world. Thousands of conversations, tens of thousands of questions. And somewhere along the way, I realized that the art of conversation is dying. So here's what I'm going to do about it. I am now going to teach what these almost 40 years have taught me: how to have conversations that matter. 6 courses, from the anatomy of a great conversation to generous listening as a superpower to handling difficult exchanges without losing your dignity or your mind. Go to TavisTalks.com right now. That's TavisTalks.com. Download the free guide, see what's coming, sign up to be the first to know when we launch the series. Conversation is a skill, and like any skill, it can be taught. I'll see you in class.
December deal drops at Lowe's are wrapping up, but there's still time to snag something worth bragging about. Get up to 40% off select major appliances, and members save an additional $100 on a new and exclusive Samsung French door refrigerator, now just $18.99. Need new tools? Select tools and accessories are up to 45% off this week. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/24. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details.
It all comes down to this, folks. Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain. Whoa! These Vapo-Cool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That fun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks Vapo-Cool drops. Use as directed.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
1 year ago, flames tore through Altadena and Eaton Canyon, changing lives forever. From the ashes, can a beloved community rise stronger? Hi, I'm Dominique DePrima, host of First Things First, weekday mornings, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580. And I'm inviting you to join us on Wednesday, January 7th, as we broadcast live from Perry's Joint on the 1-year anniversary of this horrific and devastating fire. We're remembering those we lost, celebrating the heroes and sheroes who answered the call, and honoring the resilience of neighbors who are determined to rebuild together.
I've been a strong Black woman a long time, and I can't just break down now.
Hear the stories of survival, the voices of recovery, the spirit of community that the fire couldn't destroy, and yes, the angst of those who still do not know where they go from here.
Yeah, where am I go?
At KBLA Talk 1580, we don't just cover the story, we're part of this community, and we've done our level best to hold those responsible for this fire accountable. And 1 year later, we're still standing together.
It is my hopes that Black people will rebuild those homes.
So join us live at Perry's Joint, 2051 Lincoln Avenue in Pasadena, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Wednesday, January 7th, as we commemorate the 1-year anniversary of the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire. Because some stories demand to be remembered.
This too shall pass.
This KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall is sponsored by LA Fire Justice.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Volley, drop the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me.
On KBLA Talk 1580. In this, our final segment, the first show of the year with Barbara Arnwine, Tenacious Tuesdays, we have a change of schedule to announce. Conversations with Atiba, which normally appears on Wednesday afternoon in the first hour, is now moving to Thursday in the afternoon in the first hour. And P.L. Da Silva, our worldwide conversation with P.L. Da Silva, is moving to Wednesdays in the first hour. Both men offer a breadth of knowledge, P.L. Da Silva with a global perspective on how the United States is being perceived around the world, and Atiba offers a point of view that matters to our corrective thinking, that broadens us beyond what we normally think we're thinking about. And I'm grateful for the conversation, some of them very challenging with Atiba, that I think are done with the best of intentions, and I think he is crystal clear on so many critical issues that matter to us. Again, a scheduling change worldwide with P.L. Da Silva is moving on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show to the first hour on Wednesdays, and our conversations with Atiba will now be on Thursdays coming into the new year. Barbara Arnwine is our very special guest, the president of the Transformative Justice Coalition and one of the hardest working civil rights icons in the United States. Barbara, welcome forward to the show.
Great to be here, and thank you for all that you do.
Barbara, you know we have about 7 minutes to the top of the hour. I want to give you 4 minutes to kind of share with some of the things that we can expect in the new year, and of course, leave the last 3 minutes for your word of hope. What can we expect beyond Robinson and Calais? Jonathan raised the question of the birthright citizenship case that is before the court to be decided as well. And of course, the saber rattling that's taking place at the highest level, which appears to be to divert our attention from, well, let's just say
Everything.
some files.
Epstein. Did you hear what they said today?
No, I didn't hear it.
That
What did
because
they
they
say?
got 5 million files that they won't be able to release them all until after Trump is out of office.
Oh, wow. Doesn't that violate the law? Didn't Congress say release them all?
That's why I'm very interested in what Congress is going to do. But they had the nerve to float that idea. And that was one of those trial balloons that they put out there this morning. That quote, as people are saying it might. We know that that's a trial balloon. Congress better swap that right down.
Barbara, just before we do go through this small countdown of issues, the Affordable Care Act, people's premiums are going up right now. Is there any hope for the Affordable Care Act on the horizon?
Okay. Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm on the air, honey. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that.
Happy birthday, Captain Alpha Psi. Why Barbara
It's
is
my family.
it's a
It's
business.
my family. It's like that. Okay. But on the Affordable Care Act, I mean, people are all over social media. Have you seen it? And they're talking about all the increases in their premiums.
Yes.
Some people have gone from $400 to $1,400. Some people have gone from $200 to like $800. I mean, this is just, and this is why. Wow, everybody think about this. This man doesn't care about you because this is why he gave billions away to Argentina. Come on now, waging all these wars, spending all our money for nothing but to make his friends, his rich oligarchy friends richer. I mean, come on, folks. This is inhumane. I said last year, and nobody wanted to hear me. I talked about this new eugenics movement, about the fact that they're trying to kill people purposefully, that they want to, depopulate this earth, and that they think poor people do not deserve to be on this earth. I've told you that, and that this is what they're all about. Nobody wanted to hear it. I told you. What else did I say? People thought I was totally insane when I said they're trying to invade Greenland because Peter Thiel wants Greenland. And that that's part of his long-range aspirations. And J.D. Vance is his boy, and he's put him, he's funded his whole career up into the party. I mean, come on, but it's turning to be true. People are gonna be able to afford the health care they need. People are crying on social media right now about they can't get the health care they need. People are crying, talking about they can't get the food assistance they need. Folks, in addition to that, did you see what RFK did, cutting these vaccines? That means children are going to die. That means people are going to be getting diseases needlessly. That's why we got measles now back in the United States. Folks, this isn't accidental. They're not just stupid. They're not just evil. They are determined to kill people. And I will say that, and I will keep saying it, that this is all part of a plan. It's not an accident. It's not just that Trump is incompetent. It's worse than that. People who are actually like Miller and others who are making decisions, this is their plan.
I'm confident that's true. Barbara, we got
to stop it. We got to stop it.
About a minute and 30 seconds for your word of
Okay. A couple really fast things, everyone. Mark your calendar right now. January 20th. January 20th is the anniversary of this administration. There's going to be a walkout on Fascism Day. Walk out on Fascism Tuesday, January 20th, from 2 to 4. People are leaving their offices.
Is this all over the country? This is all over the country.
It's going to be in D.C. Primarily, but we're asking people to join with sympathy all around the country. I want people to know that there's a story you probably missed that I want to make sure everybody's paying attention to. You asked me what to expect this year. Let me tell you, a lot of voter suppression. A lot of voter suppression. expect a whole lot of voter suppression, because already the story is out about what the USPS has done. That they are now saying that they cannot guarantee that your mail will be postmarked on the day that you actually turn it in to the mail office.
That's awful.
And so we know that that means that a lot of people's mail-in ballots won't be counted, and because they will show the wrong postmark. And you got these, states, the majority of the states that require that you submit them on time, and the postmark states, about 14 of them that allow you to have some kind of leniency.
I got to let us go. Until next time.
Much love.
For Arnwine, so proud of you and your work. More on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show tomorrow on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you.